for clearing that up. That's wild.
You're on? Mike's. All right. Should be able to go find it on YouTube. Yeah, all of that good stuff, man. Yeah.
I heard it.
So I'm going to hit them up in the morning.
Well, what time are we supposed to play?
11.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, the original game was at 1. So...
Wait, it was at 1?
Yeah. So in my head, I've been trying to find a way on how to attack it because I can. It's been a while since I pulled the "Woe is Me" card and like, hey, the game was at 1. We didn't tell y'all to not pay.
It only changed when they
forfeited all these rest of these games.
Then no way.
You know what I mean?
No, you don't need any argument. The game's at 1.
Now here goes the other silly part. Not silly, but tough part. The Vipers wanted the earliest game. They need the earliest game. So they settled for 11. They're not going to go for a later game.
What time are we supposed to?
You know what I mean? Because they wanted the earliest game. Now, this is just me assuming. I haven't talked to them, but he asked me, Carrier asked me, could we move to the early game? And then that's when...
and you said yes.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Before I could say anything, that's when the one guy who holds the gym, TP homeboy, he came in and said, "Well, y'all won't be able to do that anyway. The game has to be at 11 because these have been forfeited." And that's when everybody found out the news. Huh?
What?
He just did it.
I turned it down.
Yeah, he just did it. Yeah. So,
Dude, this
sucks.
is crazy.
Yeah, man.
Just cancel all the games and let's just go do the playoffs next week with the 4 teams that paid.
I might just call TP on my way home and be like, "Yo, these people not gonna pay you, man. Are you coming up with something?"
Yeah.
Like, you know
Well, it's more important to play at 1 o'clock than to worry about people paying or not.
Yeah.
If we get to, we can play at 1 o'clock or 12:30 or whatever, then we'll just play the game and we'll worry about those other issues later.
Yeah.
That is nuts, man.
Let me start this thing, man. Let me start this thing off right. There we go.
Told everybody we're gonna win right after the game.
Welcome back. You're back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I had to play the old video there, Yak Attack, because I'm bringing it back, and I need to see if that's going to catch a copyright sting on YouTube.
So it was an experiment.
It was an experiment because we were unable to get a hold of Kodak's team. So instead of scratching it like I was going to do, I just said screw it, and I'm going to do it anyway. But I do need to see if they're going to copyright me.
Do you,
copyright strike me.
You know that DJ Slim knows him.
Like knows him? You think so?
He just had a video where Kodak pulled up somewhere.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let me write that down in my notes here.
Yeah, because
I will forget.
He hit me up about it.
I know. I've had a couple of conversations with DJ Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you saw that on his Instagram or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he sent it to me. We were talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we were talking one time about getting Slim on the podcast a while back.
Yeah. Well, because I met him.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of had like a whole meeting.
So you the
with
one
him.
told me about that. Yeah.
I had like a whole meeting with him, and he said he's still trying to lock down this like kind of health and hip hop conference thing that he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he said he probably won't be back up here until he's ready to drop that. But
Yeah. Okay.
stay
All
in
right.
touch and what have you. But he posted up. Kodak pulled up somewhere down in South Florida and interacted with some people.
All right. On the show today, all right, we got a good show for you guys today, as always. We're going to be talking about some NBA. I'm fired up, ready to go. Oh, yeah, man. So we're going to be talking about Dallas Mavericks, some Lakers talk, some other general NBA news, some NFL stuff. We're going to be talking about this this crazy gentleman here, Kevin Gates. As my grandma would say, this crazy Negro here, and a lot more other stuff as well. Okay. One minute here. I was replying back to D-Law. Shout out to D-Law. What's going on, D-Law? All right. Now, I want to, before we get really rolling here, okay, what's on my mind today is actually sports. It's usually something,
Yeah,
woman related.
At least
or
at the
something.
beginning of the show. Yeah, no, it's woman related, or it's just kind of like a philosophical kind of feeling about something.
Yeah.
It's generally not like a direct sports thing.
Exactly. And we get some good stuff out of that,
I like it, yeah.
Today, okay, and this week, what's been on my mind is the Dallas Mavericks, which we'll get to in a moment here. And just looking at the NBA stars and what they have been doing. And there's been some guys, man, that have been just, performing really well. Like your guy, Victor Wembanyama, Shea. You got even, Maxey has had some bright spots. You go down the line. Giannis.
Jokic and Giannis have both been very good.
Nikola Jokic is on my mind today.
That's really the thrust of it.
Because I had only really been paying attention to the other guys. Okay. Like you got Luka leading the league in scoring, and Maxey. Like Luka was for a long time averaging 40. That's bumped down to like 38 or something now. And again, I just listed all the other guys. But Nikola Jokic is like, he's a real freakazoid, man. He's a real fucking freak show. Let me tell you these numbers here, because they're staggering, okay? Right now, Nikola Jokic is shooting 79% on 2-pointers. And I'm going to put all of this in context soon, so you can understand like how crazy this is. He's shooting 79% on 2-pointers. He's shooting 92% at the rim. From 3 to 10 feet from the rim, he's shooting 70% on the season. Okay? From 10 feet to 16 feet, mid-range, shout out my guys, he's shooting 73%. 16 feet, I'm sorry, that's not mid-range. That's like the push shot, Isaiah Hartenstein, 73%. Okay, the from the 10 to 16 feet.
That's mid-range.
Well, because I say that to say 16 feet to the three-point line, which is the true mid-range.
That's more the range of you should have just stepped back and shot a three.
Maybe, but not for Jokic. You want to know why? You want to know why? From 16 feet to the three-point line, Nikola Jokic is shooting 100% from the floor.
On how many attempts?
From a lot of attempts. But hold on, I'm getting there. I'm going to get there too. He's leading the league in assists. He's second in rebounding. That's 26 points per game, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. He's shooting 67% overall. All of these are not only league high, aside from those count numbers there. It's not only league high, it's the most in NBA. It's the highest in NBA history. Okay, now for context. What do you think? Trivia. Shaquille O'Neal, right? The mystery figure. All he does is just dunk on folks. That's it. Anybody down there, he's gonna dunk on you. In his best season, not overall, where he got the Boston Celtics, Phoenix Suns years. His best overall season, what do you think he shot at the rim? Again, At the rim, Nikola Jokic is shooting 92%.
92%.
What do you think Shaq shot in his best year?
At the rim, I'll say 78%.
Shaq's best year at the rim was 73% in 2003. In his prime of prime with the Lakers. That's effing bongos. Okay? Now, the 10 to 16 feet from the rim, I started noticing this shot just a couple of years ago. You know who made me notice that shot?
Who?
We talked about him before. Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh, Hartenstein, yeah. He kind of has the running floater.
Yeah. And it was at a point where I felt like I just never saw him miss that shot. Like, okay. And before, and who knows how the year we're in, he actually had the highest percentage for this
Hartenstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, Nikola Jokic from that range, is shooting again 73%.
73.
Isaiah Hartenstein best year doing that, which was the last year with the Knicks. 51%. That's what he was shooting on those shots.
Wow.
Nikola Jokic has just been just otherworldly with his efficiency ratings, and we laud like guys like Kevin Durant for that. But this is like 8 levels beyond that.
Yeah.
He's just amazing. I mean, you know what I mean?
Question though, like what are his like career averages or prior career best in those same shooting breakdowns? Do we have that?
I do not have that ready.
I'd be curious to see.
Yeah.
Because if
sure.
Obviously he's playing great, but he's played great in the past. I wonder, are we like
in the
10
the
percentage
ballpark.
points off, 20 percentage points off?
I'm sure we're off. I'm gonna get that for you, but I'm sure we're off because, he's entering a phase of like where I'm saying this is like all time great, like in the history of the league.
Oh yeah.
And so he hasn't like broached those numbers in his past. But yeah. Now
he's toying with the game.
He really is, man.
I mean, it's not hard for him. It's just he's got it down. Like it's just it's quite literally like mastery.
Yeah.
Of that, and again, like we're talking kind of focused on the shooting percentages, which are absurd, but he's doing this while still rebounding at a crazy rate and assists leading the league.
Yeah.
Would Wilt be the last center to lead the league in assists?
Yeah.
Other than Jokic. And Wilt, like, for context, like he literally did that as a personal challenge.
Yeah.
Jokic is just doing this playing ball.
That was not a part of Wilt's game.
Yeah.
He did that because folks were saying he was a ball hog, and that's the reason why he was scoring so much, because he never passed and this and that. And okay, I'll show you type of thing. And that was one season, one outlier of a season.
Yeah.
Jokic this is a part of his package. This is a part of his game.
Yeah, he's just playing ball.
And people get into these ridiculous arguments. I'm glad I'm at this old age where it does nothing for me. But like they get into these weird arguments like, oh, well, Shaq or Akeem or Will or these guys, they would like destroy Jokic and this and that. That's just not you're just not doing yourself a service of watching this guy. Like let's live now, because there is no center in the history of the game that will just destroy him to a point where you're like, damn, Jokic got destroyed in this series. He's going to get his, and he's going to make his teammates better. He's going to like do what he does. There's nobody that's going to stop him from doing what he does. And that should be the point.
That's the thing. His skills and understanding of the game are such that like he will just feast off of whatever you give him.
Yeah.
If you want to run around and try to double team him, he's going to knife up your defense. If you want to play off of him and dare him to shoot, he's going to shoot. If you're going to get cute and try to play some smallish guy on him, he's going to go under the rim and finish at 92% clip. Like it's just, and that's the thing that like, that's the mental side of the game that people don't quite understand. And like, that's the thing. You could watch Jokic play and maybe somebody has some bit of advantage over him. But he's so good that, like, if they're doing something early in the game that's impacting how he's playing, or he's maybe a little sloppy with the ball, he's going to correct. He's going to adjust and find what hurts you over the course of the game and kill you with it.
Yeah.
And that's, if he has to go into more of a scoring, less playmaking, if he has to do the opposite, he's just going to find what he needs to do to be effective. And that's what great players do, and he's a great example of a great player. I mean, that's just what it is.
No, 100%. So I just wanted to give Jokic some love here, because in the past I've been so heavy on Embiid and how Embiid does versus Jokic. And so I want to make sure I get that out. Now, where I pick up the energy and pick up the steam here is the Dallas Mavericks have parted ways with Nico Harrison here, the GM that traded away Luka Doncic. And then, of course, now the brass is trying to find a way or figure out a way, if they need to get rid of Anthony Davis, and do so. Here's my thing here, okay? We talked about this the moment the trade went down and the news broke and the world went crazy. And my overall take was, it is a god-awful move, because I'm Team Luka. Luka is one of my favorite players in the league. But I always said, even if you get to a point where you're going to trade Luka, you have to get more than Anthony Davis. Now, Nico Harrison has been fired, right? He should not receive another position in basketball, period, for the remainder of his days. In the NBA, college, high school, junior Magic, GM5 league, that he should not be associated with basketball for the remainder of his life. And let me tell you something else as well here, because there's a lot of black folks, and we put our energy and our mind into the wrong things. Nico is not the guy to rally behind and say, oh, the ownership and the brass, they forced him into this and he had no other choice, and whoa, and oh my God. But and it just makes absolutely no sense. By all reporting accounts, what happened was Nico Harrison, who, number one, before he got this job, had no, GM or assistant GM or anything,
wasn't he like a Nike
experience.
exec?
He was a Nike exec. You know what I mean? So he had no prior experience. Now, they tell me to get in this job, you have to have tons and years of basketball experience to know who to trade and who to sign and all of this. That's what they tell me. That's why I'm sitting here on this podcast, because I can't be Orlando Magic GM. Okay? And so he had no prior experience. Okay? He gets the gig and he messes it up. All right? Now, what I'm saying is, before I got off into a strong tangent there.
It's quite the strong tangent.
They're saying that ownership forced him into this, but by all accounts, he came up with this bright idea, we should trade Luka to avoid paying him this $300 million contract, because he's out of shape and his temperament, okay? And he convinced ownership of it, and ownership gave it a green light, okay? And then the rest is history. Even if ownership forced him or Nico had the idea, either way, once you get there, it is Nico's job to find the right trade for Luka. That is the problem here. Okay, yes, I'm a Luka guy, and I don't think he should have ever been traded, ever. But once you get to that point, you cannot say, okay, my plan is to overnight this so no one else finds out. And by all accounts, in his mind, Anthony Davis is my guy. I have to get Anthony Davis by any means necessary. He calls the Lakers and he says, hey, I want to trade Luka and you give me Anthony Davis. Well, of course, the Lakers are like, well, it's 2 a.m, but hey, let's do this. I mean, like, well, fucking duh. At that point, he should say, damn, this is kind of easy. I don't know. Maybe he should have took a step back and said, this is too easy. If you go down the street, okay, just because you just have to have some coochie. You ain't had no coochie in 100 years, okay? And you go down the street and you find a girl and you say, hey, I really need some coochie. And she says, yeah, let's go. That's a little too easy. Maybe you should take a step back and say,
That might be a dude.
You know what I mean? Like, that is nuts to trade Luka for a guy. And then after you trade him, right? After you trade him, you say, okay, hey, that's how we all know why he traded him. Because you say, hey, he was often out of shape. We felt like he would eventually be often injured. And then also, that's just a big investment to make for $300 million. Well, how? When you're trading him for a guy who TNT named him street clothes because he never plays. And then it's like, oh, well, you never saw Nico's team play. Well, duh. Anthony Davis never plays. Kyrie Irving has been often injured or often political for the past 10 to 15 years. He barely plays. And when he did play in the last final series, I know Luka Doncic gets a lot of flack for carrying that team to the finals, by the way. I know he gets a lot of flack for his performance in the finals, but hello, did you see Kyrie, who was 10 times worse? That's the team you want to flout out here in the NBA with the Wembies and the Jokic's and if he's on another basketball organization, I'm gonna fucking lose my entire brain. And I know I've been going for a long time.
You have,
and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But it's not just the Luka trade. Did you know that the Dallas Mavericks do not have their own pick until 2031?
Wow. He's
traded away all of their assets. He gave the 76ers a first-round pick and a better player in Quentin Grimes for a guy who has played 2 games since the trade.
Who?
I don't even remember his name.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Nico's a moron. I mean, it's that simple. And again, the biggest point that you make is even if ownership came to him and said, hey, we don't want to pay Luka, get us out of it any way you can. Like, he still did a shitty job in that standard. Anthony Davis is an older player. He has a horrible health record throughout his career. And that just cannot be the centerpiece of a trade. But if it's true that you sold new ownership on the trade, and if you recall when this trade went down in the ensuing weeks, there was a lot of like stories of like personal animus between Nico and Luka. And again, if you're a high level GM, like, you have to be above that. Your job and your duty is to building the team. And if you have a problem with an individual player who's a great player, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make a move out of your own personal pettiness or insecurity over dealing with a certain guy. You just can't do that.
No.
And again, Luka has some holes in his game. He was trending toward being oft injured. There were some things that you could legitimately be concerned about. But what they got back and the reasons of why, I mean, you really look at it like the Dallas fan base was prepared to love Luka to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what. He could play 20 years there. He could, diminishing returns, and that fan base would love him. He was their guy. There'd be generations of Dallas kids, teenagers, and then adults whose like sporting life was measured by Luka seasons. And they were okay with that, even if they didn't win a title. They'll always want to win one. They wouldn't turn one down if it came their way. But they were so invested in him as a player, as their guy, that they would have rolled it all for him.
Yeah, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, really, the history is Dirk.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
Dirk
Dirk
did
actually
get
won
he
one.
won
Yeah,
the
yeah,
title, but they, he
Even
was
before
their guy
that.
all
Yeah.
along.
Even
You know, and they loved him to the end, and so that was the fan base. That's what they wanted. That's what they were okay with. And him or ownership upsetting the apple cart for that, and getting back Anthony Davis, who I didn't like Anthony Davis when he went to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And he was 6 years younger.
Yeah.
At that point, because he already showed you what he was.
Yeah.
And I will go to my grave saying that he would not have survived the COVID season through the playoffs
If it wasn't for that long
if it
break.
wasn't for the break.
Yeah.
That preserved him and gave this little window of time that he had to stay healthy in to play through the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it was a gift to the Lakers. And I don't care what asterisk or whatever, just that dynamic was a gift to the Lakers. I'm not here to discredit the title. It was won, but there's no way, if that was an 82 game season and traditional playoffs for that pure grind, that Davis would not have broken down before the final.
Well, show us where he has it. I mean, if someone has something to say, show us where he has it since whatever his early years in New Orleans. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. And then the funny thing is like, in some scenario, you look at Kyrie, and I know he had the ACL injury. You look at Davis, and then you get the gift of Cooper Flag.
I mean, just a gift from above.
It looked like this might be okay, and it's a disaster.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
To tear it down and rebuild.
Anthony Davis got hurt his very first game.
Yeah.
And like you said, Kyrie blew his knee out. But another thing I thought about as well, because you get the number 1 overall pick, and coming from a 76ers fan and somebody who just watched the NBA for a long time, more times than not, the number 1 overall pick, best case scenario, is just a really good role player. I mean, like, it's generational stars, which is what Dallas needed at that point. They don't come out every year. They don't come out every couple of years. They come out every once a generation. I mean, it's not they come out every once, maybe once a decade, maybe. Like
I don't know if I agree with that.
You don't?
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable agreeing with that. I mean, Anthony Edwards was the top pick, right?
I don't think he's a generational star. I don't think he's. I don't think so at all.
If we're only defining by generational stars, then it is what it is.
Yeah, but that's what they needed.
I think they would be very good if they had Anthony Edwards.
You think they would be very good?
Yeah, I think.
If you take Cooper Flag out and you put Anthony Edwards in, they're the same.
It's more complicated than that, and I'm not ready to write Flag off. I have a different point to make.
I'm not writing him off either. I said I think he's an elite role player.
No, but I'm saying I don't know these really. I don't know what he is yet. But okay, all right. We'll tackle the Cooper Flag thing. This is what the problem that you have. Cooper Flag's development is being damaged right now because this team is dysfunctional. He has to just try and do things he's maybe not prepared to do. He's got to learn on the fly with basically a losing team.
Yeah.
That's not good for his development. It doesn't mean that he's destined to be a high-end role player. He might be more than that. But we talk about this more in the context of quarterbacks in development and situation. But to come in here to Dallas and just not have real guys to play with, not have a real role to kind of grow into, and just kind of be like, we kind of need you to be the point guard, and we kind of need you to do this. He's not really ready for that. And he doesn't have good quality pieces around him. And so this season, I think, is hurting his overall development as a player. And I think that's kind of tragic. But I think you start to see, and I think it's coming in San Antonio, where the guys that they're drafting after Wemby, it's like they're good. Like they fit. You look at that team, and you look at what Castle's doing, and Harper's shown a little bit, and then you got De'Aaron Fox, and Vassal's the guy that was drafted before him, but he's kind of fit into a role, and it's coming together around Wemby. And it's I think now, the unfortunate part, you have to blow up this Mavericks team, still hold Flag, and then try to rebuild around on the fly. That's very difficult, even for a skilled GM, with a player that's kind of like trying to evolve and reach his potential and come into his own in the league. That's what I think. It's really unfortunate for Flag more than anyone.
Yeah. To your last point there, I don't think that's it is a problem and a hard task because of what you have to rebuild. You have Kyrie and AD, and I don't know at this point what you can get for either one. I think Kyrie still holds more value, but he's just coming off a major injury. You haven't seen him play yet, and then do you let him play when he returns? Right now, they're the second worst team in the West. What if you get to the January, February mark where he could potentially return, but just in the same spot?
If you're not in contention for anything, not in a play-in contention. Does it make sense to put him on the floor and do anything?
But you kind of need to if you're going to blow it up.
I think the other side of that, if he comes healthy in that window of time, I think you try to trade him. If that lines up with like the trade deadline.
But you have to play him to trade him.
I don't think you have to.
You 1,000% have to.
I don't think
because they have to see him play. You have to, like, he's coming off a major injury and he's not a young player. You know what I mean? Like you have to know what he looks like in order to get your maximum value from him. Yeah, you can trade him for peas in a pot. And then also another thing, and this is like another level of thinking about it, but what makes it harder, and again, I'm agreeing with you with that point, is the new like CBA rules make it like it's just so shitty because you have to match the contracts. So like you couldn't even like trade to a bad team for a bunch of picks like you used to back in the day. Yeah. Because you have to match the salaries. You know, now something I came up with over in the car. You know,
nothing like a productive car ride.
I wouldn't mind a AD for like Embiid in a pick. And, you know, like I wouldn't mind that.
You wouldn't mind that as a 76ers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as a Dallas, you don't have a pick to give.
No. We're giving the pick.
You're giving the pick.
You don't have Dallas doesn't have any picks.
And you're giving Embiid, yeah.
Yeah, and you're giving Embiid. Embiid is a guy who he is playing. And he has shown he can play hurt. I mean, you know, Anthony Davis hurt and Embiid hurt. Embiid plays much better. Embiid is still one of the best players in the league, averaging 25 and 8 and 9, and he's hurt. You know what I mean? And then you get a first round pick, which your cupboard is bare. Okay, salaries match, all of that. From on the 76ers side, the problem is I love Embiid. I want Embiid to stay forever, but the problem is his new contract hasn't even kicked in yet.
Yeah, and if I'm Dallas, I'm never touching a player like Embiid.
No?
Never.
Even if you get the pick.
Yeah.
And then what if we throw in 2 picks?
You can't.
It depends on what the other offers are. See, I don't know.
I'm not taking Embiid in a trade.
You just took Anthony Davis.
Well, but I mean,
I know
Nico's fired.
It's a new. I know.
I mean, if
I'm
advocating, nice try. If I'm Dallas GM, like one of the main things I'm not doing is I'm not signing any older players, and I'm not signing any players with poor health records.
The problem, I know, ideally, but the problem with that is, who else is going to take on Anthony Davis? Like what? What are you talking? Like Ja Morant? I mean, like, you know, would you be in that? Would you be in that cesspool?
I don't like him either.
You know what I mean? So it's like now this is we can blow this out later. Pause at a later date when it's more in the news.
I would rather
I would
rather package Anthony Davis for 2 or 3 veteran type guys on the back ends of their deals. 1 or 2 years left. Solid NBA dudes that are
Tobias Harris level, maybe a little younger.
Yeah, but preferably a little bit younger.
Yeah. But something like that.
RJ Barrett.
He's making some money. It'll take like two.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
And like Grady Dick.
Yeah.
And like whatever, I'll take those guys.
Yeah.
They're young. They can they can maybe kind of fill in around Cooper Flag, and again, particularly if it's like last year or two of the deal, we can jettison them, not re-sign them if things don't look promising, and I'm cool with that.
So now,
rather than like a big fish like Embiid, who's older, who has a contract kicking in and a poor health history.
Now this is interesting because it is now you do have two different paths. That path there is the players. You're not going to receive any draft compensation now. It's the players, and then potentially you're going to play the free agent game because it's like, hey, we can re-sign them if they reclaim the project, or when they come off our books, we can go fishing.
Yeah.
Now, Dallas, it's not the worst place in the world. State, no state tax.
Yeah.
Dallas, they've gotten some free agents over the years, so that's actually decent versus going the injured or high risk Morant route with a couple of picks.
I'm just
that's the draft compensation
route. To that route.
Okay.
I don't want to take on big personality, big contract, poor health. I just don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't think that helps you. And you kind of look at like, and I know they're struggling now, but like you look at some of the guys the Pacers moved in and out, like Nesmith and some of these guys. Like I'd be looking at, guys like that are young, maybe didn't get opportunities, or like RJ Barrett's had some chances, but he's not old. Just guys that there's some upside there, but it's not like I have to commit huge money. Kaminga, yeah, probably got to pay him. Though.
You do. You have to like sign and trade.
He's in that thing where
he's already only got a year left.
Yeah, he's ready to.
He's in his last year.
Do that. Yeah,
he's in his last year.
But again, if it came down to it,
you still prefer that over.
Yeah, I would roll the dice
George
with that, and
yeah.
I just like what. Maybe you got an example, but what kind of like older, high paid guy without a great health record has really panned out for a team?
But why do teams keep doing that?
They're just seduced by
the problem I got.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I've been trying to wrap my head around that. We don't even know why they allowed them to pay them that much to begin with. That's before a team actually, you know what I mean? But why do teams? I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you an example because I don't think there is many. You know what I mean? It's like a handful throughout the history of the league, maybe.
Yeah.
And you would have to have such a structure already. Like, I don't know. You could probably name like if an old guy went to OKC right now. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
whatever.
It's fine.
But yeah, I don't know.
And the other one I was thinking about though, like team that's really kind of struggling is like the Clippers.
Yeah.
And they've got just that old nucleus of guys.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing's really like. Yeah, these guys used to be really great players, but now they really don't do enough to consistently win games.
Well, look at Bradley Beal. They just made that move for him, and he's out for the rest of the season now.
Yeah,
his career's got to be over.
Please put him down like an injured racehorse.
It's got to be over.
It has to be. But that's the thing. Like, I mean, you have Harden and you have Kawhi. Don't they have Chris Paul in this team too?
I couldn't tell you what Chris is at now.
Yeah, I thought he's in there.
Zubac is interesting though. Like if you want to,
he is, but he's not making enough difference. I mean, it's all you could do is move him, probably.
Yeah.
But for what? Like you've already got these ancient dudes.
I know. It's not. It's
you just can't.
It's a terrible space.
It's just you don't want to be in that space, and that's why I would avoid.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Trades.
What's interesting? You know what I mean? That doesn't mean much now. Because I just talked about the draft. 76ers have the Clippers draft pick in 2 years. That's like the most valued possession, I believe, in the whole
2 years
league-wide.
removed, it could totally be.
I mean, like they could be
in hell. They could be a real lottery team.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean a real lottery team.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty good to have.
But that's the whole thing on the Mavs and Nico and all of that. I mean, like you said, we'll kind of see. The next thing from here is to see if they move Anthony Davis before Kyrie comes back in this little long window there.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. And then once Kyrie is eligible to come back, what happens with that? But in the meantime, they're kind of stifling Cooper Flag. It's unfortunate, but at least he's getting all the minutes he can ask for and shots he can ask for.
But and my fear is it just develops like bad habits.
Oh yeah.
You're not playing with high level guys in terms of thinking the game.
No, you know who you're playing with? D'Angelo
Scrubs.
Russell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they benched Klay Thompson.
Pair of Montverde alumni.
They benched Klay. Klay is mad.
Clay's had such a horrible, like,
End of his career.
The end of his career has been bad.
He's made a lot of bad decisions.
Things were so great, and the double injury just put him in a really bad place.
Yeah.
And he never fully recovered and found himself from that. And it's been sad. It's like watching a boxer that's kind of lost his elite level quickness and just really doesn't have it. He just takes too many punches, and there's just no more. There's nothing left that reminds you of what used to be.
Well, at least he got Megan.
If you think that's a value. Then he's over there simping for her. Like, that's just, I mean, that's part of it. You look at the sad final chapter of Klay Thompson.
It is part of it.
That's a prominent page or two.
Yeah, it is.
You know, what is he going to do? Like, basically be a bench guy for Dallas, quietly retire, and then simp around with her?
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
Being a bench guy on a god-awful team when you got mad because you were a bench guy on the Warriors, I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, definitely.
But, he's damn near a big
But again,
man,
he went to Dallas to play with Luka.
He did.
And through things that are outside of his control,
yeah,
he's now playing with Cooper Flag and a bunch of stiffs. I mean, that's what it is.
It is. And the irony, because the Lakers offered him a big contract, 4 years, $80 million.
Damn.
And he declined it, like you said, because he wanted to play with Luka.
Yeah.
And Luka goes to the team. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's brutal.
That's rough. But how lucky the Lakers got, because, Klay doesn't have any more left in the tank.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, here you're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Let's move it along here. Let's stay in the NBA. I just wanted to do this quickly here because I had something on this.
You know what? I'm going to go back to Klay.
You want to go back to
Thompson,
Klay?
I think the sick, twisted part of this is that I think that, like, his diminishing value on the court and in the game of basketball has kind of probably, like, brought about the Meg thing.
What do you mean by that? As
his career has just bottomed out in the league, like he was a respected, beloved player.
Yeah.
And he's just this kind of sad, bad version of himself. By banging Meg and getting that little, the paparazzi type of thing, it creates, like, swagger in a different lane that he's kind of leaning into because he can't lean into the basketball side. And I really think those two things are connected. There's nothing about Klay Thompson's life prior to this last 8 months that suggested that he would be a star fucker.
No.
He never. Like, he had a couple of things with some Instagram chicks, whatever, but he always kind of, like, controlled it on his own terms. Nothing in his career suggested that he would go this path.
He'd be on the last
except
guys.
for the end of his career. And that's what's driven him to this place.
All right. Next level psychology there.
That's right, man. That's where I exist all the
time. Like I said, I wanted to hit this quickly here. So Stephen A. Smith was on a podcast. It looked like with Melo and somebody, but I didn't get to confirm that. And he was talking about LeBron, and they asked him about, the GOAT thing and whatever. And he was like, LeBron can't stat pad his way to GOAT status. And he was talking about, like, because this year, like, the Lakers are not going to compete with, like, the OKC Thunders and Denvers and this and that. So what else do you have? You have stats, but that's not going to put you over, the thing.
But I'll go back and say, when he went to LA, that's what I thought his decision was. I'm gonna go. His decision. Now, he did get a title, but his decision to go to LA was not driven by pursuing championships. It was driven by pivoting his career and preparing for the next phase. That's what that was about. And so we have had these things where he's accumulated stats and except for that bubble title, they really haven't been a serious contending team. They're probably not that this year, but again, he's become the points leader. He's all these other stats that have accumulated in his career, but it's not the killer mentality. He's been a sideshow his entire time in LA.
But I think those are two different things. What you're saying, and I can agree with one, but I don't agree with the other. So like,
how are they two different things?
Because you're saying, yeah, he went to LA to pivot to other things. I agree with that.
Right.
That's not what Stephen A is saying.
No, I know what Stephen A is saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying
now that part I don't agree with though, because I don't know. Like you're saying, like he's intentionally stat padding to be the GOAT. I think it's just playing basketball. I don't know. Like I don't see him hunting for assists and rebounds like we used to see Russell Westbrook. Like you know what I mean? Like literally forces and hunt his way into rebounds and assists for triple doubles. Like that's not LeBron. Just plays basketball. He doesn't force his hand. He allowed last year. He allowed Luka Doncic to be the main. Like it's
be the guy. Yeah.
Like he literally was in the back seat.
I don't think he's stat padding in the sense of like in an individual game he's kind of snatching rebounds out of guys' hands or doing things, like
the Ricky Davis off the backboard for a rebound, missing shots.
Or like, he gets to, he's got maybe 18, 20 points. He gets to 10 rebounds and he's at 6 assists and there's a whole quarter to play. I don't think he's intentionally hunting for assists. So I agree with that. But what I mean by stat padding is that like, he's kind of like just playing so long that a lot of these statistical numbers have compiled in a crazy way.
Yeah.
And again, when he got the scoring title, it was one of those things. It was like the LeBron fans were kind of like, he's got all, he's got this, he's got his title, he's the GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the GOAT. And I do think that there's kind of an element where just him continuing to play on non-contending teams is a little bit of stat padding in a way.
Yeah.
Not in the intentional way of like, Westbrook or Ricky Davis, but it's just kind of there.
Yeah. I can't get there because of how well he's playing. You know what I mean? Like even though, I disagree with the guys who look at the counting stacks and be like, well, what is the difference? He's the same LeBron, 26, 77. It's different. It's a difference.
Oh, it's way different.
But at the same time, I mean, he's still performing. You know what I mean?
No,
like at that point, then do we say that about Vince Carter? I mean, like he hung around for 30 years and was barely averaging 2 points a game. What is he there for? Other than to amass on his overall total points in the league.
Because his stats were so meager down the stretch, and he wasn't a guy that was like at the top of any individual stat or close to it. I look at that a bit differently. I just don't think he wanted to give up hooping, and maybe he doesn't like his personal life.
So that can't be the same with LeBron. He just doesn't want to give up hooping.
It could be part of it, but I do think that
same thing with Kobe.
Kobe didn't want to, but then he did give it up.
Yeah, I mean, eventually LeBron is going to give it up.
No. Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Kobe's a bit of a bad.
If Kobe didn't get that Achilles injury, like I don't know
when he would retire. I get that.
We really don't.
No, and again, we're not there yet with LeBron, but we have expressed some concerns in recent shows of how the post-career is going to go. I mean, Kobe kind of pivoted into some of those, the Muse thing and the girls basketball with his daughter, and he seemed to be like genuinely kind of happy before his death. And kind of was doing enough things that he felt fulfilled. Mm-hmm. I thought again, I am sure there were, like when you're a hyper competitive guy, there's days when you want to get out of bed and be your greatest self and you realize you're not, or the only thing on your agenda is driving the girls to school and you're kind of like, what the fuck has my life come to? It's a battle. It's not just like, hey, I'm constantly happy. But Kobe genuinely appeared to invest his time and energies into other things and seemed to draw some degree of satisfaction from that.
What was Jordan doing with the Wizards other than putting more total points up? It's a terrible team.
I think Jordan's a junkie, and I think he just needed the fix.
But see, that's
Like
you see how we you know what I mean? Every player that did the exact same thing is something different. Why that can't be with LeBron? And we don't know we don't know that it's not that for LeBron.
I understand that LeBron enjoys playing. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I am saying that like it's kind of there. You could make the argument that there's some stat padding to his resume, and I do think what I don't question at all is he is just very aware of his legacy in comparison to Jordan. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing for him. And so we can't escape that that's part of his motivation in continuing to play. But yeah, he definitely loves the game of basketball. He definitely loves playing. And it's not all one thing or the other. But I do think that there's, he's made some decisions. Going to LA, again, kind of playing as long as he has, that you look at and say, yeah, is this a part of what he's doing? But let's see where it comes from, though, too. It comes from Stephen A. Smith, who's essentially at this point a sworn enemy of LeBron. I mean, it is what it is. He's not making any attempt to be complimentary. I mean, since their conflict came in the open, everything that he says about LeBron is through the lens of I don't like this guy.
Yeah, and my thing is I don't know. I'm just over the whole Jordan LeBron thing. I don't know.
I've been over it for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. I don't know why it continues to be something. You know, my thing about LeBron is I'm wondering because I do think the Lakers can be a contender this year. I do think that. I 1000% believe the Lakers are one piece away from being like a true contender to OKC. I don't think that one piece is LeBron though.
Well,
and we haven't seen him play yet.
My biggest thing for the Lakers this year is we need to see LeBron. We need to see that group play before we can assess what level of contender they are.
Yeah, but we've seen enough of them play now
Not
to
this
know.
year. Not this year.
What you mean?
This year.
Yeah.
He hasn't played.
No, I said we've seen. I mean, when I said enough of them, I mean like enough of the players. Like I've seen enough of DeAndre Ayton to know what he's going to be this year. Enough of Luka, enough of Reeves, Rui, all those guys. Like they have the depth, they have the guard play, they have the competent bigs, they have everything except for the exceptional swing player that you just have to have that can both guard and put up some type of offensive production on the floor. That's the absolute only thing they do not have that you have to have in today's game.
But to me, like until you see LeBron in this group and what role he's going to do. When Luka arrived, he became more deferential.
Yeah.
He gave up the ball a lot more. And I'm sure he's watching the team play and he's probably thinking like, what can I do to make this better? And maybe he tries to fall into the role that you believe they need.
He can't. I don't think he can.
He may not be able to.
Yeah. I don't think
he may not, but maybe that's what he tries to do. But my point being, when he gets back in this, he's a huge piece. Maybe he tries to do that and it fucks him up. Maybe he can't. Maybe he can't really find a comfortable role with this group. And that's what I'm saying. We don't know what the Lakers are
with
until
LeBron.
we see a chunk of games with him and how he integrates into this comfortably.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not comfortable and that becomes their biggest issue as we move ahead.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm the Lakers, I don't even fool around with it. I just move them.
Move LeBron?
If it's me.
Yeah.
I've you're fully committed to the Luka thing now. You gave him the big contract. Yeah. You're going to give Reeves enormous contract by all accounts. I don't agree with that, but again, if you're in that spot, you have to.
What if you sent Anthony Davis back to the Lakers for LeBron? That would just be like just a crazy cyclical trade. So essentially, at the end of the day, you trade Luka for LeBron. That would be really funny.
That'd be really funny. But more realistic, it'll be like a Cleveland thing, and
always go home to Cleveland.
Yeah, and if I'm the Lakers, I'm hoping.
Isn't there a poet that said you could never go home again?
If I'm the Lakers, I'm hoping for that. Because you get one of those bigs, and then you're just in fucking business. Yeah. One of those bigs and Hunter, but anyway, in a sense, I guess technically you're all right. You don't know until you see LeBron play with this group. He's actually He's just been cleared. He's going to go work out with and play with the G League team. Yeah. What's funny about that is I just read an article in a podcast talking about how would Jared McCain feel going to play with the G League team, and it's like, what not? He because he's gonna feel like he's an NBA guy. He doesn't want to go back down. He doesn't want to go down. And then all of a sudden, news come out like LeBron fucking James is going to go to the G League team to work out.
But he's just gonna work out, right? He's not gonna play a G League game.
They said work out. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, because if you're talking about like workout, and I'm assuming workout means like practices and scrimmages and stuff like that.
Yeah, what I'm thinking,
is that what
my
you're thinking?
thinking is that like the NBA team probably doesn't do a whole lot of live action scrimmage and things like that, and the G League, they could basically say, hey, we guys want you to practice, get up and down and do. Basically set up a practice for the benefit of LeBron.
Yeah.
And what he needs to come back. And the Lakers as a team with the schedule, they're not really going to be able to do that. And so for that reason, you get him down there. They probably play fewer games as well. So there's more days between games, and you could legitimately have him be going up and down with guys and really kind of playing live more than he would in any sort of Lakers setting.
Yeah. You do that thing they do in football where somebody plays somebody else. So you can bring Bronny back down there, let him play the Luka role.
Yeah.
And so LeBron doesn't have to have the ball all the time.
Scout team type stuff.
Man. Yeah. But no, I thought that was interesting to see that he's going to go down there with those guys. So I mean, we're not far away. Is my point to bring that up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He'll be around.
And I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how it goes. I want to see how kind of everybody handles that situation, and does it give a lift to the team? Does it maybe kind of drag them down? They haven't been perfect, but they've been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
And they seem to have they're playing with a good edge. I mean, Reeves has done some nice stuff when he's had to, and Luka's, literally been playing at a terrific level.
Yeah. Of course it's early, but right now they're fourth in the West, half game back from Denver.
Got OKC tonight.
Half game back from Denver and San Antonio.
Yeah, they go to OKC tonight.
They got OKC tonight. I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to be watching that like a hawk. Matter of fact, we're going to end this show soon.
Every dribble. That was one of your great all-time lines. I watch every dribble.
I was just so against what Juan was saying. What's funny about that though is like I met Juan in high school, like at the ninth grade center. That's where I met Juan, and we were such two different. I'm fresh out of Edenville, I'm so like polished now. It's not even funny, but then I'm like fresh out of it. And then this guy here, he's like a fucking almanac. And like Juan now is Juan in the ninth grade, and like
he hasn't changed.
He just hasn't changed one bit. And
since he got married, he gets better haircuts.
And this huge bank of information. And we used to have like these huge sports debates in the fucking outside courtyard thing during lunch, and people was it was almost like we had our own first take thing there. People were like, you know what I mean? And it was just so funny. But I mean, that particular thing I was right about. So
okay, there you
go. Really quick here as well. I know I said that was the last NBA, but it's not. This is just some weird shit, man. The NBA reveals its new format. So we know they were going to the USA versus the world, but this is how they're going to do it. It's going to be 3 teams, 2 USAs, 1 world, 4 games, 12-minute quarters, 4 games, 12 minutes each. Round robin, the championship. Oh, it's just too fucking much. It's
too complicated.
It's too complicated.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get? I thought it was more world stars than it is USA. So you're talking about 2 USA teams, 1 world. So you're already determining there's going to be more USA All Stars. But how do you know that before the fucking All Star vote come out?
Right, yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so are you going to have some guys be able to make a decision whether they want to be world or USA?
That's interesting.
It's just too complicated, man.
If you've played for your senior national team, that should lock your alliance. But if you're a guy that hasn't played senior national team basketball,
Guess you get to make a
then maybe you
decision.
could make a choice.
Like I don't think Shea played.
Yeah, Shea played for
Shea
Canada
played.
Olympics.
So Shea played. Wemby played. So
Most
who are some guys?
Most
most
of
of
the
the
big
guys
stars.
have.
But okay, theoretically, a guy like Rysacker, who's
Okay,
French.
okay.
But I don't know. I don't think he's played for the full national team yet.
Do you remember Sabonis playing? I remember Sabonis made the All-Star team.
No, that's a good point.
year or two
I don't
ago,
know if
something like
Sabonis
that.
has played for.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be like Lithuania,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
I don't know. But that could be one.
But that could
if he's
be
never
something like that.
responded to a call up for that, then maybe he could choose to play here or there. Maybe I'm just kind of
I know.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because usually that's the criteria. It's like once you've played for the full, like you could play like U19, U whatever, and it can change up your allegiance. But I think once you've basically played for the full national team, then that kind of locks you in for a Greek player, USA player, Spanish player, whatever the case is.
I wonder if he wasn't hurt. I wonder if Embiid got voted into the All-Star game, but he says, I want to play World, even though he just won a.
Well, see, he would be the perfect example because he made that choice at the high level, played USA Olympics. To me, he would be blocked from playing for somebody else.
Okay, yeah.
Under that, because you made that choice.
You made that, yeah.
You
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Yeah, but I just don't like it. I mean, instead of doing all of this, just tell the guys, hey, play harder, or we're just gonna go away with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I honestly, like, it doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep the Saturday night stuff and the Friday stuff with the comedians playing against the WNBA guys.
The WNBA guys.
And we'll just
that was diabolical.
We'll just call it a weekend after that.
It's diabolical.
Sunday is for church anyway. We don't need you guys.
No, it ain't.
We don't need you guys running up and down, barely sweating.
Speaking of church, this was hysterical to me. So I'm at the office and I'm coming out of the restroom and I'm walking toward the front door of our suite. And there's a company that works on our floor. We call them the Dude Bros. It's like a group of guys. They're all probably somewhere between 25 and 35. They all dress super casual and whatever. And I see a dude bro on the phone on the opposite side of our door. And I can't hear what he's saying. But as I get closer, I literally hear these words. If you need any specific prayers, let me know. That's all I heard. And I'm like, specific prayers?
Specific prayers.
Like, what are we talking about here? I literally wanted to stop and ask for some details.
Make me rich.
I was like, what is going on here? I mean, even like most religious people I've ever been around, they'll do the generic, I'll pray for you. They don't offer specific prayers.
Specific.
Like, what is behind these specific prayers?
I pray I wake. Oh, no, I missed up. I was gonna say I wake up with Uncle Lilo's thing, but
maybe that's what it's
specific
about.
prayers.
Yeah. Oh, it was funny though. It was funny.
I have some football stuff. Before I get into some football stuff, let's spiral around some craziness that's going around here. Okay.
I'm all for it.
All right. Thought this was interesting. Rod Wave, okay, during Rod Wave's arrest, he just got arrested. Police found a baby bottle full of lean in his car, along with other drugs.
What is lean?
Lean is like it's an illegal drinking substance that people drink or whatever. It's just it was famous in Texas. I think that's who originated it.
Okay.
Pimp C and those guys. So it's basically drugs in a liquid form. And what's funny about Rod is the two rappers I talk about the most are Kodak and Lil Wayne. Those are my favorite. Lil Wayne's my favorite all time. Kodak's just my favorite right now. And then outside of that, it's a lot of soca and Afro beats. But Rod Wave probably has about the second or third most songs like I have downloaded and saved like on my Apple Music thing. I love Rod Wave. Most of my workout sessions are to Rod Wave. And so it was funny, like just seeing that, because it's like, okay, in a baby bottle, and because some people are like, why didn't he just down it before the police got to the car or whatever? But I could see in his mind thinking, it's a baby bottle, and he probably has gotten away with it a lot in the past. So it's like, because how many police officers are really going to be checking like a baby bottle? It's not like it's a loud smell to it. It's just it's still liquid. It's like, it's this baby,
Yeah.
maybe get a baby seat.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you don't have anything else in the vehicle
Which
that
you probably
suggests like a child, or like not even a child, like if you're talking about baby bottle, you're talking like a small.
You know what I mean?
If you have the baby seat, maybe
you could,
if you maybe got like a random like toddler toy back there.
Yeah.
But if you're in a car that otherwise just like it's transporting grown men, like that's just not. That alone is going to be suspicious. Like,
you know what I mean?
Hey, what's that baby about? What's going on there?
You got to, hopefully he, had the accessories with it. But if not, that's a tough sale, like you said.
It is a tough sale. But also, like, I wonder with some of these guys who I believe are probably around drugs very consistently, like, does your perception become, like, so skewed that it's just like, almost like, well, who wouldn't have a few drugs in the car? Like, it is what it is. Is that just such a normal thing that you just don't even think about it?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, people drink and drive, like, and they do it regularly, and it just doesn't seem to register. I almost feel is that part of what you got going on here.
Could be.
Because it's like, I mean, dude, how many guys a year get arrested in a vehicle with some combination of drugs and weapons?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's out there. We should know. Like, you should not be toting these things around.
Yeah.
But like every year
we get a bunch of them. We get a bunch of them every year.
And I just think it's one of those things. You just don't think it's going to be you. And you're kind of in like this drug infused haze, and it's what it is.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I never thought about it that way, but I can see that.
Yeah.
What else did I have here? I had I had a lot on this. So Kevin Gates was on his live, and he had his new girlfriend on the live with him, and a lot of the fans were commenting like, oh, that's a younger girl, you dating a younger girl, and basically what does that say? She's 25 or 26,
and he's 39.
That's
not crazy.
That's the first thing. I didn't even think that was crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of women are up in arms about it. But it was basically about what he said too, because once they started commenting that, then he was like, and he went into it like, I don't want no washed up coochie and I don't want no washed up, old girl. I want something,
He just took the lighter fluid.
Oh, you old bitches washed up. What do I want to do with that? Don't no man want that shit. And the mid-late 30s, early 40s, those women, they
easily triggered.
Were very disgusted with those comments. Now, and I actually shared that with a couple of women, Sid, Tracy, I think a couple of more, Essence.
What was their chat takeaway?
Sid gave me a fucking paragraph. Hold on, let me read some of this, because now all of them were, whatever. Kevin Gates is a terrible guy. This and that. They all were like that. Hold on, because I do want to read Sid's. Now, apparently,
I usually have great appreciation for her takes.
No, yeah.
I find her to be really, really bright.
She says it's a preference. However, Kevin Gates gives manipulative vibes. I fear for her emotional health and self-esteem during this relationship. She says, I don't know anything about her, but I don't think he would treat her any different than the others that have came and went. But one day she will get tired. It basically what she said there at the end too. My thing is this, like, yes, a lot of men do like younger women. A lot of younger women do like older men, and we kind of talked about that on the surface level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just kind of been the way of life before we were born.
They each have something different to offer each other.
Yeah, that's
what you got to look at. And again, we're talking 26 and 39. We're not talking 42 and 18.
No.
Or any of that. So I mean, 26 years old, You're a grown ass woman. You know, if you've gone an academic route, you've probably finished that up. If you've gone a life route, you're pretty well into that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but again, you just look at that basic dynamic. The younger woman looks to the older man who's probably more financially established, more resources to do more things that would be fun or compelling or appealing to her. That's certainly one dynamic going on. And then the older guy with the younger girl, again, at 26 years old, you're probably not dealing with a woman that has multiple kids, an ex who might be an ass or two involved. Like, there's a lot of things that you just don't have to deal with that you find with a lot of women in the 35 to 45 range that he's in.
And not to say that younger girls don't have that, because of course they do. We're just talking about in totality, like on average.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no doubt too. Even if it's financially driven, there is like an ego play to the man to have the younger woman in his life, and for him to get her, even though more often than not it's probably a financial play. It just, that's something that resonates with some guys. You get into a little bit older category and you're kind of like, oh, do I still have it with the younger girls? Like, and that's the thing that guys respond to.
I don't think it's because like men think that the women their age or older are washed up or coochie stretched out or too much. Like for me, for an example, I date women my age and younger, like, and not crazy younger. I'm just saying, like, in this for this purpose. But you take one example, right? I had a time in recent memory, right? You got two women who want money, one my age, one younger. Okay. The woman my age, they had an older. They have real bills and real things to do. So the money that they need and asking for, they're asking for $300-$400, like, $300-$400, and then some of them, a lot of them, and from my experience, they're not even like appreciative of that. You know what I mean? It's like the cost of doing business with them, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And
what do I say about it?
and it's like, and when I mean appreciative, it's like the head and coochie don't increase. That's what the fuck I'm into and what I'm here for. I don't, all of that. Let's save all the pleasantries. This is what I'm here for, and it don't increase when I give the $300-$400. If I were to give, and you don't have to give this much to a young woman, but if I were to give $300-$400 to a 21, 22-year-old woman, I would have to beat her lips off of my ding-a-ling. She would be so appreciative. That is a lot. That's hair, nails, a whole eighth. That's a lot that she can do. A ticket to NBA YoungBoy concert. You know what I'm saying? Like she is fucking thrilled. You understand?
Oh, I do. But do you feel some kind of way though? Like if you do give a woman some money, and then all of a sudden they're all over you.
Yeah.
And they hadn't necessarily been that way for the prior week or two.
Yeah.
Does that feel a little like, okay, like what the heck?
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, I prefer that over the exact opposite.
Nothing. Yeah.
Now I want a medium. I want, a lower medium of that. But, whatever is whatever. I understand life. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Now overall, it's, like basically what Sid said, everybody has their preference. But again, I think for the majority of men that are in that camp that date younger, I don't think it's because they're looking at women their age or older and saying they're washed up or stretched out or this and that. That's just what old silly Kevin used.
No, I think he was just doing that to kind of twist the fork on him.
Yeah.
Again. I think most guys though, like if it's, unless you're almost like a fetish operator,
okay.
Like if Kevin's at an event next week and there's like a 42-year-old really attractive woman who shows interest in him or whatever, he ain't turning it down.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
He's going for it, and I just think that that's one of those things. But I do think from the guy's perspective, sometimes when you get into the younger category, it can be less complicated. There could be less emotional baggage coming from that other side, and like she also suggested, he's probably a bit of a manipulative guy, and it's easier to kind of manipulate somebody who's younger with less, kind of world seasoning.
Yeah, facts.
So once again, I end up agreeing with his Sid opinion.
Yeah, I know, right? No. Sid is really solid, man. Sid is really solid. One of these days when I'm out, we gotta have her substitute for me there.
Yeah, why not?
Or the opposite end there. But you're rarely out. You're like fucking Brett Favre. Without the
I don't really feel good about that.
You're not stealing food stamps from anybody, but
or sending DPs.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you're doing that or not. But I know you're not stealing food stamps. I feel confident in that. All right.
Damn, you could have gone with a lot of. You could have gone with Lou Gehrig.
Yeah. It was other names.
He's dead. It's all in the can. Man, Cal Ripken.
Yeah, Cal.
Oh man, with the Brett Favre.
New study shows that people are now spending more money on sports betting than actual investments. That's not surprising.
Spending more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really bad. No, it's bad in this. I mean, like there's always risk with investment.
Yeah.
But kind of like law of averages, history shows you that securities investment, stock market, mutual funds, those things, there's a consistent track record of improvement. And you kind of reach point two when you've invested kind of long enough, amassed enough money that like the moves become big. The swings are big. When if you've got $5,000 in a Robinhood account, it's okay. Maybe it went up $150 today. But when you have, 6, 7, 800 grand in an account, your daily swing could be $25,000. Without making any crazy, just the normal holdings.
Yeah.
Going up and down. And it's just there's power in that, but it's a long-term play.
Yeah.
And most people are wired for like instant gratification. And you get that with the sports betting. You put your bet in and 2 hours later, 3 hours later, 4 hours later, you have an outcome.
Yeah.
And you're, and I know you're a sports bettor. I'm not. I just feel like there's just this like weird, almost like weird status thing to being a sports bettor, particularly if a person goes out of their way to show you that they're betting.
I'm not into that. So many people. If you just watch your stories, like there's like a ton of people that are into that, like showing their their wins or losses. Like, oh, I was one off here and this and that. Yeah.
Or I've been in person with people, like in a setting, and they're like,
look at this,
fucked up my parlay, whatever. And
parlay.
Yeah, it's just like you just hear all this talk about it. It's like, why are you like? Why is it big that we need to know this? Like, but it's something that is servicing a need in those people, and they think it's cool or whatever to do, and I find that all kind of sad, and gambling's gambling. There are people that make a good living gambling.
Yeah.
They do it consistently. They do it with intent, and that's all they do. And I work a different type of job, and I have to do that. But if that's what you are, that's your career choice, whatever. But if you're a guy that's throwing around, I don't know, a couple $100 a night or less, and you're posting your stories about it, what's wrong with you? Seriously,
I am a sports gambler, but I have fallen back so much from what I used to do. My last bet was a couple of weeks ago. I've fallen back. about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't place a bet on this, but I did see Brittany. She posted, and this went viral too for all over. James Harden had a points total of 18 and a half. He scored 18 points in the first half. Didn't score a fucking point afterwards.
But played.
But yeah, played all 4 quarters. Didn't get hurt. Nothing like that.
That's wild.
Didn't score a fucking point in the second half. You're counting your money at that point.
Yeah.
You get to halftime. You're like, I'm gonna go to Red Lobster. Maybe take this girl or that girl.
And for a player,
that's crazy.
For a player of his level,
who gets to the free throw line?
it's you almost have to try not to score.
Almost have to try.
I mean, like when you
and
really
then when you hear about all of these other like scandals and stuff, that's really why I've fallen back.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because you get these weird things, and then you actually hear about the guys getting caught, and it's just like, well, if it's not a fair game, like why be consistent? What am I even doing?
Yeah. And that is the threat to the sports establishment. The sports establishment, like viewership, a lot of it is driven by the gambling.
Yeah.
You can't separate them.
Especially not at this point.
But there's that weird thing where it's like, if the corruption's too high, it really damages the whole thing, because the gamblers look at it like, well, I'm not really gambling. I'm like, I'm either on the right side of this or the wrong. And the purity fans get fucked up, because now they have to confront that what they're watching, what they're investing time in is all fraudulent.
Yeah. And
should I still be watching NFL Sunday if like all these games are fixed?
Yeah.
Like, and most people don't want to. Most people that like the game, and myself, I honestly, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't want that to have to be something I have to think about. And so you kind of bury your head in the sand a little bit. And I think that for the most part, like you'll get a guy pulled for gambling here and there.
Yeah.
But I honestly feel the enforcement of it and the league response to it, and even to a degree probably law enforcement, it's all kind of dampened. Like they're never going to go full bore to expose everything, because it's too many people are making money off of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I mean, like cities make money off of it, the teams, the players, like
TV networks,
all that. Everybody's eating off this trough. And so it's kind of like when something comes up and it's so stupid or blatant, yeah, we got to pull this one and we got to, arrest this guy or that guy. But I don't think there's a genuine desire out there to be like, we're going to root this thing out. We're going to have to pull the covers off the bed to do it. Hell no.
Nah.
Nobody's interested in that.
Yeah.
There's too many,
too
much livelihood, all of that.
That is like a great point. Like no matter how deep, they are in it, or like how many players may have been a part of that, like they may put something in place where they can really watch it from here on, but they're not going to pull it back and be like, hey, LeBron and this person and that person and Jokic and this. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean they'll have to get a couple heads.
Yeah,
a couple heads will have to roll just to feel like something's being done, but it's never going to be explored as deep as it could.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to be you guys, Chauncey and all these other guys. I don't know this to be 100% true. TMZ is pretty accurate. Okay. You tell me if you got something on this or if you want us to fast forward. But in a message obtained by Congress, the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein wrote that Trump spent hours at his house with one of Epstein's victims. Okay? Epstein alleged in emails that Trump knew of what was going on and things of that nature.
This is not news. If you can't piece together this, no, I mean, I'm serious. This is not a news story. It is a joke that this stuff trickles out this way.
Yeah,
he was part of it. There's no contest. They were legitimately good friends.
Yeah,
they spent time around each other. You listen to the just listen to the clips of him talking about being in the Team USA locker room. the pageant, which he owned. Just listen to those clips. And if you don't reach a conclusion that he's about that life, you are a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There's all of this stuff of release the Epstein things. Like, to me, it's like the COVID vaccine. It's kind of like this necessary thing to do to tip our stupidest society members because they can't accept, like they can't connect dots. But to any thinking person, this is completely unnecessary. This is a convicted rapist and sex offender. Mm-hmm. What don't we believe here? like, what exactly are we doing? I mean, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like you are the product of your habits. You show people who you are every day through your habits, and this was this guy's habit among others. There's the smoke is never far from the fire. The stink ain't far from the shit. It just is what it is, and people go through so much mental gymnastics to make something into something it isn't. It's mind-boggling that you do this. This man is blatantly a sexual predator, has been for decades. And again, he's been a serial racist for decades. And nobody wants to just accept it. Like, it is what it is. Right. And the crazy thing is if like the guy that worked in the office next to you displayed these same traits and characteristics, you would have no problem at all calling HR, calling the police, calling whoever you needed to call. It's just absolutely insane to me.
But you vote for a guy like with those, qualities and principles to be the president of your United States. Yeah. But like you said, but if that same thing was happening with your guy you worked in the next cubicle.
One of my biggest arguments, and this is the funny thing, I was going back and forth with a guy I know, and he was like with the Epstein stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. My opinion has been the same since 2015. And like, one of the arguments I've always made against him is that forget the Republican Party, forget Republican politics or any of that. Even forget sexual assault, forget racism. If this guy was around you, if he was your neighbor, if he was your supervisor at work, if he was in the next cubicle, if he was the dad of like a kid on your kid's baseball team, you would think he's an asshole. The way he carries himself, the lack of humility, the blatant lying and blood. And we all know people. Like, we all are around people on a daily basis that fit his basic, and I'm saying non-criminal profile, that we do not like, that we avoid whenever possible, and try to be as far as we can. That's what this guy is at the core of his being.
Right. And then you throw on top of that the criminal profile. Yeah. Which was already been right. So that is nuts, man. Have you and then also have you heard about him requesting that the Commanders change the?
Yeah, of course.
What was that? The field name or the new stadium?
The stadium after
him.
But again, like, this guy has made no contributions to sports. He's made no contributions specifically to the Commanders, other
than wanting them to put the team name back to the Washington Redskins.
Right, but that's not doing anything for the team.
No.
Like that. You like that honor, and it's supposed to be an honor.
It is. It's a name.
Goes to somebody who's made a material contribution to the organization, maybe to the sport of football broadly. He's done none of that.
Maybe he's thinking because like the White House is in. I don't know. Is he drawing that conclusion?
No, he's
the president.
His like the Republican Party and MAGA have enabled him so much that he literally feels like he can do or say anything with impunity. And that's what this is. Yeah. He just wants people to do stuff for him. Was it the Nobel Prize or whatever? He like starts talking about it. That's his, like, if you look at the patterns of his behavior, he starts talking about something that he wants third term as president, Nobel Prize, changed the stadium name to me. And he just starts talking about it until in his mind and the minds of his ignorant followers, it's kind of becomes like a plausible thing. Oh, why not a third term? Oh, yeah. Well, who's had a more peaceful year than him? And that's the way this works. What he's doing is, he's basically conducting like psychological experiments on creating buzzwords and thinking and altering perceptions based on just saying stuff that, again, the first time somebody hears it, oh, that's stupid as hell. But then when a person keeps repeating it, and it's a person that has a big microphone and a big platform, suddenly, like, shakier people start to question, like, oh, well, why not?
I just saw that little TMZ thing today.
Yeah.
But I knew something like that was coming, and maybe even heavier. Maybe something like, maybe, I don't know if they have a fucking video or something like actual saying that he was there. Or maybe even something bigger than that. You know how I knew something like that was coming?
Why?
Because he comes out and says he's finna give $2,000 to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember the first time they did that, the first couple of times, especially the first time, like
Yeah.
that drew so much like, appreciation and stuff like that from the we know what class of people are in need of that. And honestly, it's just going to go right back into like, nobody's going to like.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's coming.
Okay.
I doubt it. It's another lie.
Okay.
I think you've nailed again the dynamic when something negative is coming up.
Yeah.
He tries to get in front of it with something that he kind of controls the narrative or he thinks will make him look good.
Yeah. There you go.
His behavior is such patterned bullshit.
Yeah.
You
see it coming from a mile away.
Because, again, we've been subjected to this guy for way longer than we should have. But, like, it is what it is. You see the patterns.
Yeah.
Again, it'll start with the outlandish thing and repeat it until people start to think, oh, yeah, that's reality. And like you said, like when something negative's coming, like just randomly do something, a little whatever, out of character or whatever, and that ostensibly seems kind of good, but it's all manipulation. That's all this dude is about.
Yeah.
And it's not even sophisticated manipulation. And that's the shame of what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by too many weak-minded people.
I remember the first time you said it, you didn't use the term weak-minded. It was something else. I don't know. Maybe the term was just idiots, but yeah. But like the more you just go along, like, yeah, we live around more of them than I originally thought.
And
idiots or weak-minded people, or whatever.
It's funny with Carlton, who I'd one day like to have on the show. When he moved to my house, this was at this point like almost 20 years ago, and we were talking, and like he brings this up like every other time I see him. He's like, dude, you had it right the whole time. He goes, I remember you telling me that the majority of people are idiots.
Yeah.
And he goes, the longer I live, the more people I meet, the more I realize you were so right.
I'm telling you, man, you are. That's what I'm saying. The first time you said it was a couple of years ago on the podcast. And then, like you said, just ever since then, I'm like, you might be right, man.
Dude, you just can quietly assess the people that you're around. And just like, and I do it all the time. You're talking to them, you're listening to them talk, you're kind of listening to how they arrive at a decision, and you're just like, this person's just not smart.
No, but how I look at it from the opposite.
And I'm not talking politics. I'm just talking. Forget about politics. It's just you're talking to somebody and
general life stuff.
How they arrived at doing something on a particular day at a particular time.
Yeah,
it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, I look at it from the opposite way. Like, I'm so impressed when I come across a reasonable person, because it has been so long at that time since I've come across. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because everybody else was like complete idiots. So yeah. That's the thing there.
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, James Baldwin has that quote about and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't know it all, but to be a black man in America is to be like essentially in constant rage.
Mm.
I respect the hell out of the comment. I agree with the comment, but I also think that you could replace intelligent person with black person, and it's still the same.
Say it again with the intelligent person.
To be an intelligent person in America is to be in a constant state of rage because you are surrounded by ignorance, stupidity, lethargy, just so much negative in people. And you have to navigate these people like in different situations, in different settings throughout every day. And it's kind of, it's exhausting. It really is exhausting.
It is. And a lot of them are like, in families,
For sure.
you know what I mean? A lot of them are in my family. They just don't understand basic, principles and stuff like that. It's and you have to navigate that and still have to, I guess, love them from a distance or whatever.
From a distance.
You try.
Yeah, no, it's complicated, man. It is
Oh,
complicated.
NYT wrote that article for Trump.
New York Times.
New York Times.
Yeah.
So that's So that's legitimate. All right, I said TMZ, so that's a good correction. That's the editor.
Yeah, probably a lot more.
Doing his
A lot
job.
more.
Yeah, a lot more credible.
More credible.
One more really quick one before I get to football. ESPN First Take is coming to Bethune Cookman
Really?
University. Stephen A. Smith, Cam Newton, Ryan Clark, the whole team.
Are you gonna go out there?
I cannot.
Why?
Ain't that some mother effing foolishness?
Why not?
Because I'm going to be on the cruise.
Oh,
They're coming
no.
next week.
That's tough.
It's very tough. I've had it on my calendar for
They should have cleared the date with you.
I've had it on my calendar for
bad
so
bad
long.
stuff, Bethune. We expected more.
Now, one thing I do like about Stephen A. and First Take and all those guys, and it's a Stephen A. initiative, is they do go to these HBCUs, so that we're not the first, won't be the last. I mean, they've went to several, and but yeah, man, they're coming to us, and we get left out so much, to where like I love that they chose us and they are going to come.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'm also happy that they're not coming after 2 devastating hurricanes, so there won't be like debris in the office. So
Today
that's
we're gonna
exciting.
bring special guest Ed Reed with us.
Stephen A. is gonna be like, I don't see anything that it's funny because since then we've like put up these 2 brand new buildings. We have a new field. We have this. We have
nice.
a brand new like workout facilities and stuff like that. So.
Now, how did what? They'll do the show in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
And then, is it students only, or do you have to buy?
No.
a ticket?
No. So it's open. It's they're allowed to be open, but it's like the school is supposed to like manage as far as the number of the crowd and stuff like that, and where it's at and stuff like that. And but what I like about it as well, so like they'll pick like one student from like the student government or something to actually say something on camera and represent the school and who they are, and then they'll at the show, of course, they'll take like questions or comments from like whatever 5 or 6 students. I like that. I actually at homecoming, I met this kid who was looking for an internship, and and I was telling him about this. He knew that they were coming, and so I hope he's one of them that gets picked and gets to say something. He's really cool, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, to some football here. All right. Let's stop belaboring. Let's get to the most exciting news of the day.
Yes.
I want fans to know that I'm going to do my best. Obviously I'm going to have fun, but I'm going to execute, have a surgical execution, and just play ball, man. Like, this is something I've been doing since I've been 4 years old. Now I just get to do it in the greatest city in the world. I'm going to be saying it with my son. It's the greatest city in the world. Yeah, that's a Hamilton reference if y'all don't know. And a 10-year reunion.
Yep. I just because I want you to hear it here.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it.
You saw it? Oh, so you don't need to, because he's referencing Hamilton and those guys. So yeah, man. So Jameis is back now. Pink and I, Pink is a Florida State alumni.
Yeah.
So he's seen every Florida State quarterback has ever come through. I am a known Florida State hater. Okay, being that I'm a Florida Gators fan, but from the day that Jameis Winston stepped on campus at Florida State, I just couldn't help but to root for Jameis, and I'm just a Jameis guy. Now, the Giants this year has just done everything they could to not put Jameis on the field. And I mean, Russell Wilson has been awful. And not only has he been awful, but he was awful in the beginning. They benched him for the rookie. The rookie got hurt.
And there's been
like
two separate instances where Jackson Dart has gotten hurt, even just for a few plays in a game. And every time they've gone to Russ instead of Jameis, the guy you decided to bench for poor play. And it's not like Jameis is, incompetent or whatever, that he's some developmental guy, that undrafted free agent.
Right.
Like, he's the Heisman owner. He's the top pick in the draft. He's started tons of games. And to not even give him a look in those situations is insane.
It's insane.
I wonder does it have coaching change?
I was about to say, I wonder does it have something to do with the coaching change?
Absolutely.
Maybe Dayball just was not a Jameis guy at all. But it's so hard not to be a Jameis. He's the best guy in your locker room.
Yes.
He's, you know what I mean?
I don't say this lightly. Like, he is a national treasure.
He is.
His energy, his persona, his sense of humor. It's like we're all in a better place because we've encountered him.
But I didn't know this at first. And when I mean at first, I mean like college all the way up until the first couple of years of NFL. I didn't know there's depth to Jameis. Like, it's not just, ridiculous or foolishness or just like light comedy and like random quotes and stuff. Like, there's depth. There's a little depth to Jameis.
There's more. Like, what goes completely overlooked is that, he was a high-level student in high school. Mm-hmm. He seriously considered Stanford instead of Florida State.
Wow, didn't know that.
That you don't consider Stanford unless you're a legitimate smart person.
No, you have to be able to get in.
Yeah, even as a football player, the standards aren't quite the same as pure academic, but they're also not just opening the door to anybody. Mm-hmm. They have a very real standard, and that's the thing. It's like he has that, Alabama country boy thing that he's got going on, but he's a bright guy. He cares about what he's doing. He cares about the people that he encounters. That's why, it's worked out that he's not the greatest football player, but he's a great human being.
Yeah. And
that's something special. Almost everybody that's played with him has a great story. Man. Has love for him, has respect for him.
We haven't heard like any like extreme negative thing about him or whatever. Now, what's unfortunate is like he's going against a top 5 defense.
That was literally
in the Green Bay Packers.
I was like, yes, Green Bay.
It's so tough.
That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. And then he's without like the whole entire cupboard is bare.
Yeah.
The receiving core is just decimated. Your running back field is decimated. But hey, he's there. He's going to do his thing. I'm mad. I won't be able to watch the game.
Yeah.
Send me a quick text, man. Jameis thumbs up or Jameis thumbs down.
I'll do it.
Because I wanted to watch this game so bad, man. I didn't know, but I am happy that they did this though, because you couldn't go back to Russ after. Yeah. This past game.
And the coaching shit. You can't.
No. It's a part of it, because I don't know if the coach does not get we may be seeing another week of Russ. Yeah. Now, on Russ, what happens after this? What happens with Russ? Does another team?
I'm a harsh judge on these things. I really am, but I don't think he deserves another chance in the NFL.
Not even as a backup, right?
No, I don't think he's a good backup. He's a peculiar guy. Charitably, a peculiar guy.
Yeah.
Like some people would say he's probably worse than that. but I'll just say he is a different cat.
He's a guy you have heard some rough stories about.
A lot of rough stories.
You know what I mean?
A lot of weird rough stories. You know, like teammates not having his number and things like that. Like long-term teammates not having his number. That's wild stuff. Yeah. Like, that's not the norm for a locker room. No, man. And, he does... he does some nice stuff. He does have some attributes as a man, as a human being that are good. But there's just a way he goes about things that just doesn't really resonate with people. And for that reason, he's performance-wise, he's shown you he's no longer a starting level guy. And personality-wise, I don't think he's a viable backup. He has, in his own way, like a big personality. He has an ego to him. And not to say that that's a bad thing, but when you're the backup, that's not the first attribute that needs to be next to your name. No. And so I don't know there's a team in the league that he is the answer for as a starter or a backup.
Yeah, and he's not a locker room guy. Yeah. He's not a guy that's going to help groom your young quarterback that you have in there. Yeah. I just don't see him getting another opportunity. And then when you look at him from a legacy standpoint, I mean, I guess overall, yes, he has had a solid and a good career, but it has such a higher trajectory on it. And he's just had some major flops without like major injury. Like, he's had a weird fucking career, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they were talking about, and deservingly so, we were talking about like top quarterback in the game, one of the top quarterbacks of all time type of trajectories post Seattle. And now you look at it, when you look at it all.
Well, in prime Seattle.
Yeah, prime Seattle, I mean. When you look at it all, it's like, is it all because of the defense?
Well, that's part of the thing is that, like, and he's a very tough player to evaluate because, like, individually with his skills, with his mobility, like, you can put together a pretty impressive highlight reel of film.
Oh, yeah.
Of you, what a play. Great throw, great run, way to keep that alive. All that stuff is there in selective parts. And here's another thing. If they hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch against the Patriots, how different is all of this?
Yeah.
That interception, and again, it was an incredible read. I don't really fault. It wasn't like a dumb throw.
Right.
He's made way worse throws in his career. Every quarterback has. That wasn't a terrible throw. You can fault the receiver a little bit. You could applaud the anticipation and read of the play. Maybe a little bit with the throw, but like, it is what it is. It's not the worst throw he's ever had, not even close. But that broke the franchise. That broke them. Yeah. They never recovered from that.
Yeah.
And if it went complete, or they handed it to Marshawn, they're like back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
And they're finding ways to keep that core together.
You better believe it.
And keep it rolling and as long as they can. And all of this, his whole career looks different.
Yeah.
But it didn't go that way.
One play.
They lost their defense and kind of struggled offensively, and then the Denver thing didn't work out.
At all.
Yeah. And then the Giants thing, it just hasn't worked. And it's just, at some point, it's like,
Pittsburgh thing didn't work.
Pittsburgh thing didn't work out. Yeah, I forgot about that. But, just be okay retiring.
Yeah.
Like, just be okay. Like, you're just not a fit in the league. There's other things that you can kind of do.
And I mean right away, too.
Yeah.
Don't linger and try to find other jobs and compete and go to an off season and like, I'm going to compete for this and that and two different teams.
That's the thing.
Go ahead and pull the plug right away after this season.
At this point, you're a vagabond that doesn't fit anywhere in the league. And you can, you can hang on, you can take pay
because he can go to the Raiders and try to do something.
Right.
No, man.
Just let it go, man.
Because that is the last stop.
And you could be at the Children's Hospital full time. 10-hour days at the Children's Hospital. They need you more than the league does.
They definitely need you more than the league does. Oh, that's sick.
It's true, though.
Oh, man. All right. The next one here, probably going to be quick. Travis Hunter, done for the season. That was a little surprising. Ending knee surgery, cutting his rookie year short.
It was a practice injury.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying.
Those always feel weird. I mean, obviously it can happen, but like, when you see a guy go down in a game that you're watching or hobble off, you're kind of, oh, damn, he's hurt. Yeah, you just hear on Thursday he's hurt his knee and he's out.
He's out.
And additionally it's, 4 weeks and now it's the season. Just, on the whole, it just never clicked this year. There were moments, there were flashes, but too far apart, and it just didn't resonate.
It didn't resonate. It wasn't what we thought it was. Could be. No, he's a rookie. He needs to grow. I don't even think we have enough data or information. Like I understand the people saying, "All right, enough of this experiment. He gotta, we gotta go." I don't even know if we have enough data to know whether he should pick offense or defense if we're not going to do the whole two sides thing again. Because he really didn't blossom on either side. He had moments on each side.
Yeah.
So it's
again, I'm not abandoning the two-way thing.
Okay, you're still not abandoning it.
No.
I know they asked the coach, and his it's just his it changed. In the beginning, it's like, we're gonna embrace it, and yesterday he was just like, I don't know, we're gonna have to see, maybe not, that.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound too hot for the two sides thing.
Yeah. But I would ride two sides till I die.
Yeah,
it's just there's nothing else that makes him extraordinary.
Yeah,
and it's just like
because it may turn out that he's just average at both.
My thing,
even if you only play him at one.
Yeah, my thing is, it's what we talked about too at the draft. It's like he's just not fast.
Yeah,
he's really a twitchy athlete, like a rubbery, flexible athlete, but he's not really fast. And it's like that's why like he didn't like in the passing game he didn't get, he'd occasionally catch some underneath stuff, and again because he's not playing all the snaps. Like I think that's why. So offensively, I look at it this way: he's not a fast guy, so he doesn't really get over the top or get loose very much. So you're basically kind of an underneath receiver by default, and you're not playing all the snaps, so you don't get that accumulation of catches. So a lot he'd have 4 for 38, okay, 3 for 27, and then maybe 4 for 62. Like that's what you're looking at. You're not getting the big stats. You got to be more of a big play guy, or you got to be playing more so that like you might not anything big, but you're more like 8 for 84 at the end of a game rather than 4 for 34. And that kind of, that helps the measurable game. And then defensively, he was kind of in and out. I mean, at moments he seemed to play some elite coverage, but again, it's just, and sometimes like there were games when he was more offense oriented. There were more games when he was more defense oriented, kind of depending on what they felt they needed to do. Which I don't. It doesn't bother me if that's the way you utilize him. If it's like, okay, well, we're playing Jamar Chase today, and we want to just let Travis run with him, and maybe he'll just be in a handful of packages on offense this week. That's cool. And then another week, it's like, whatever, let's just kind of keep him mostly on offense and do it. I'm okay with it, but just be open to doing it.
Yeah.
As Chuck Daly once said of Dennis Rodman, you don't put a saddle on a Mustang. I always love that saying.
You don't put a saddle on a Mustang.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Got hurt in practice, not in the game, and who knows? We don't know what was happening in practice, what his volume, what that volume was.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can attribute that to him playing both ways.
They'll try to.
They'll try to, but
it is what it is.
It definitely is what it is. I agree with that. I do think you should. I mean, this year I liked him more at DB than receiver, but I mean, the man can catch. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah.
The other football one that I had was AJ Brown. He's back at it again, man. He was on a Madden live stream.
Yeah.
And the guy asked him, "Hey, AJ, how you doing?" Man, it's a shit show this season, man. I'm not gonna. If you're playing fantasy and you got me, The man just asked you, how you doing today? I mean, people say, hey, I'm good. I'm all right, man. Yeah, that's the normal. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm doing. Oh, man, this season is a shit show. And we're on a Madden stream. This is not an ESPN interview, man. Yeah. He's got, my thing about it is, because you got the whole thing. And he clarified it actually earlier today. And he had a longer response for it. And this is his first time he really he had a long response for it. It was the first time today. And basically he was saying how, the defense, he feels like the defense has been carrying most of the weight this year. And, last year is a season of its own. We don't want to say, hey, we won that way last year so you can win it this year. That's just not how it works. He's saying why not, let's just get better offensively as the weeks go on. And I think I'm, a part of this offense getting better. I want the ball, and so we can be better, and let's work on it now. So when we need the card, we pull it and prepare for it and not. Okay, so that's what he was saying today. And
that ain't worth the paper it's written on.
What, his response there?
Yeah. That's all like bullshit team speak. That's all garbage. Like what he said on the stream was real time.
Oh, was his real? I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
versus what he said today.
He did all this big long thing. Man, verbal diarrhea. It's just stupid. There's all these generic ponderings of the team. Dude, you're the guy streaming a game with a shit show in your life. That's who you are.
That's who you are.
I mean, and last year with the book and whatever. I mean, honestly, with respect to mental health stuff, he's got some issues. He's got some issues that transcend the field, and he's kind of admitted to it.
I'm not mad at that.
It is what it is. But the question becomes, as a Philadelphia Eagle team, or any team in the NFL, if you're contemplating a trade or a move for him, what are you getting?
Well, my thing is, if you're so, if you're so, bothered about this, why not demand the trade? Why haven't you demanded the trade? Okay, so you had this issue last year. You rode it out, won a championship, didn't get the amount of targets and balls you wanted last year, but you got your championship. Demand a trade then in the offseason and get somewhere where you want to be. But you roll it back, okay, in the first few games of the season, you see, okay, this is going to be the same shit as last year. Demand a trade.
Yeah.
But why week in and week out just continue this charade?
Act like just you're being, that somebody's doing something to you.
You know what I mean? This is the offense. This is what the offensive coordinator and the game plan that they come. This is what Jalen Hurts. These are the balls that he's going to throw. They're not going to come in your way. You have enough data to know what is AJ Brown going to look like on a week to week basis.
Team, yeah.
So that's my whole thing about it. And then you got some of the sports media talking about, he's not a winner because they're winning this and that. My take on that is, I don't know if you agree with this or not. In football, I think it's a little weird with that. In the sense of, I think winning only matters for quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And so every other position, really, it is stat based. We don't look and compare players. When we're talking about the best tight end or the best running back, we don't say, that guy won 2 Super Bowls or made it to the whatever NFC conference. We don't talk like that. Nobody talks like that either. The fans, the media, the sports writers, journalists.
I understand what you're saying. I do get that. And quarterbacks are certainly judged differently. But I do think that as a high-level player at your position, your reputation, your marketability are assisted by winning at a certain level.
Maybe.
No, I don't think it's a maybe.
I do think it's a maybe, because it depends on how crazy you went. Because you got a lot of the largest stars in the game who just dominated the game, but like Calvin Johnson were on terrible Detroit Lions teams.
But
he was the biggest star at receiver. He didn't get assisted at all.
No. See, I think if Calvin Johnson were on teams that were getting to the Super Bowl conference final consistently, he would have been bigger than he was.
On what scale? How do we know that? He was the best receiver in the game. What do you want him to be?
No, like off-field dollars, all that stuff.
I don't know. I don't know because, like I said,
I'll ride with that every time.
I mean, and I guess that's fair. But what I'm saying is, undoubtedly, for a period of time, Calvin Johnson was the best receiver in the game. Barry was the best running back in the game. Like these guys,
and they both like literally ended their careers prematurely because they were tired of winning or tired of losing and being great in a futile environment.
Sure.
That matters.
Sure, for sure.
And in some ways, like again, if he's in either one of those guys or in like a better environment, like they probably play longer and maybe Johnson's, got Jerry Rice numbers and Barry Sanders has the all-time rushing thing and those types of things.
And maybe instead he has AJ Brown numbers.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Who knows?
I think something's wrong with AJ Brown as a player. I don't think he's that good. No. I mean, I understand those two guys at their position are absolutely the best, and right up there with anybody you want to play. But it's notable that their careers were cut short. And I know, Barry Sanders always had a reputation of being kind of like this private person, and I get that Calvin Johnson's probably not like a huge overt personality. But they just, like, if the teams were better, they probably would have lasted longer in the league. They probably would have, just had more great moments.
Yeah, that's a fair argument.
And that's part of,
but it's like,
part of, football and sports, it's winning and it's iconic moments, too. That, sometimes when you're just stuck in these less than optimal situations, you don't get them.
I know in sports that is it, but my argument is in the NFL I just think it's a different beast. There's a extremely large sector of people who you would just never be able to convince them that Barry Sanders is not a better running back than Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt Smith he was the all-time leading rusher leader. He has all of these titles. He's whatever, off the field, on the field stuff. And you just I just think it's a different game. For other positions outside of quarterback.
I'll flip it though, because I think that's a perfect example. I think Barry Sanders is a better player. And if Barry Sanders had played the prime of his career with the Cowboys and Emmitt Smith with the Lions, Emmitt Smith's he was really good, but he ain't Emmitt Smith. And Barry Sanders would be something else, because he'd have the titles, he'd have the all-time rushing record and all those things, and he'd be playing in those Super Bowl games and making big plays. That changes your legacy.
See, I think but the difference in our arguments is it's like the what ifs games, but these guys I'm naming they're there's no what if they are the best. They are in a lot of people's eyes. The and I could name a ton more, but I just named those two with the Detroit Lion guys. But what I'm saying is, at the height, they were the best, number one, without winning. Quarterbacks, you can't name in the history of the game a guy who didn't win or didn't at least get to the show. You know what I mean?
I agree with that point,
okay.
But I still think that winning enhances your career regardless of position. Quarterback's unique. It defines you. If you're not a winning quarterback, you're not anything regardless of what your skills are.
Yeah.
But those other positions, you can still reach this high level, be acknowledged as the best in the game, but there's just a part of it that you don't get to, that if you get to, it changes a lot.
So my point to bringing it up in this instance is with the AJ Brown thing. It's just that he at least rolled it out to at least win one. But my thing is, okay, at this point, there's no need to keep hanging on. If you're so frustrated with
I agree with that point.
Go to a trash team where you can get whatever.
Yeah, if you're that miserable as an Eagle, which is a good team and Super Bowl champions and certainly not out of the hunt by any means. Going to be
contenders for the next.
If you're not happy in this, get out. But I'm going to suggest to you this, that he's not happy for reasons deeper than touches.
Yeah.
It's just, you can just feel it.
Yeah.
You know, like reading the book on the sideline.
Yeah.
There's other shit going on. He's not a mentally well person.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe temporally he can change his football situation and enjoy a bit better. And I also think he's not that good.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good football player, but he is not that good where you drop him in any situation in the league and he catches 100 balls and demands, and when I say demands, not with your mouth, but by being open, you demand the targets.
Energy attracts,
You know, he's not that guy.
Yeah.
He's a really physically gifted guy that can make some plays, but he doesn't consistently deliver. And I don't think he's consistently open.
Yeah.
And that's why, in part, he's not seeing the ball that much.
Yeah. What's funny is they was talking about, they were saying how much of this is on Jalen Hurts. And a guy had made a comment about, well, Tom Brady had issues with Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown was still getting the ball and this, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, you have to throw it to Antonio Brown. He's open. I mean, he's like wide open. Like you would have to be.
And what serious issues did they have? Like Tom was devastated when the Patriots had to cut him.
At the end with the Bucks, when he was living at the house, and then he had to kick him out.
The second season.
With the
second season. I mean, he came in part season. They won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, they were close. But again, it was mental issues with Antonio.
For sure.
So you can connect that even
alleged murderer Antonio Brown.
Well, he did it. He shot him. Yeah. He's just saying it was self-defense.
Yeah, well, that's why I say alleged. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree on all points. You know, AJ Brown should probably leave, but I don't think he's just going to be a happy guy anywhere.
Would you take it upon yourself if this continues? If you're the Eagles, do you take it upon yourself to trade him just to get whatever, just to get him away from?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like negative people.
Yeah.
I don't like people that are always dragging it down, because I think a big thing in sports is vibe and energy. Yeah, you need talent, you need game plans and all that. But like when you see a team that you can just feel truly enjoys playing with each other, being around each other, those are the teams that win a lot. And if you have this guy that's constantly sucking energy out of that by making about himself or pouting about or whatever, and he's a relatively prominent player in the group, like, you got to do something about that.
Facts.
You're just basically like letting an open wound sit there on your body and not doing anything about it.
100%. Well, that has been our time today. We'll catch you next week on the bench.
We're out. Yeah, I would cut him. But seriously,
from the Sunshine State.